Hey class, this is Ray Gonzalez. For this course assignment, I chose to talk about a culture that I wasn't entirely familiar with up until now. All I really know is what most people know, and that it is often parodied on television and movies, and that they kind of keep themselves and no one really knows too much about them, and that is the Amish. The Amish are a conservative Christian, religiously backed culture that live for the most part in Pennsylvania, which by the way was discovered by William Penn, who was a Quaker who had actually chosen this place to start what's called the Holy Experiment, and that was basically a haven for people of this denomination to leave Europe where they were being persecuted, to arrive here in the United States or the New World at the time, to be able to embrace their religion. Now, the Amish have 7 primary principles. That being adult baptism, shunning, heaven, pacifism, shepherds, separation, and oaths. Adult baptism, it's in the name. You choose to be baptized as an adult, right? It's your cognitive decision to do that. Shunning is a 3 strikes and you're out kind of a deal, right? That is, you can only be shunned behind closed doors no more than 2 times, and this is in violation of if you violate any social norms. And then the 3rd time, you'll be shunned in public. And then the 4th time, well, there's no 4th time. You're just kind of booted out of the community. Heaven, their belief that you will attend the Lord's Supper comes only after you have been baptized as an adult. Pacifism, if you look at history in Catholicism, Christianity, it's very, very gory. They want no part to do with any of that. They don't believe in any violence. Shepherds, that being religious leaders, are selected even in the household only for those of good character. Separation, they choose to be completely separated from the non-Amish world, and it helps them stay focused on their own principles. And then lastly, oaths, and that is that none of them make any promises because they do not believe that words are enough to keep promises. So it's just all in the actions. Now, this culture is known for speaking English, German, what's called Pennsylvania Dutch. But when it comes to religious prayer, they only worship in what's called High German. Culturally, you would see that this religion is very invested in agriculture, in building things by hand, which kind of leads to the next subject, and that is that a lot of people believe that the Amish do not believe in technology. That is a misconception. Their primary backing on technology, their concept here is they will only accept technology into their culture if it is something that would help complement the culture and maintain a disconnect or separation from the non-Amish world. So things that you can find in their communities are community phones, anything that helps with farming, so farming equipment, gas grills, hydraulic or pneumatic equipment, or even battery electricity. So it's actually really interesting that they do this because through a lot of things that you see on TV or in movies, you just kind of see them in a horse-drawn carriage, which is actually very accurate. Every family does have at least one horse-drawn carriage, but no more than that for the most part. They don't believe in using cars. They don't really have any dietary restrictions. It's actually fascinating that some of their favorite meals are McDonald's. Traditional foods are Dutch apple dumplings, shortly pies, soft pretzels, smoked cheeses, and meats. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is Rumspringa. I'm sure you guys have all seen or heard in the movies. It is for the young folks that have not been baptized to be able to kind of break loose and go a little wild, and then eventually choose whether they want to follow the Amish culture or not. Most really do, and so very few don't. They experience it, then they choose to get baptized, and from that point on, they are deeply invested in their culture. This was really fun to do some research in. I'm looking forward to your questions. Thanks.